Right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is the weekly sessions that we run just to share market updates and stuff like that. For those who have been tuning in, welcome back again. Before I start, let me just do a summarize that the things that I'll be shared tonight, just like what you have shared in the group itself. So there's 3 items that I'll be sharing. So first item is market updates. What are the fight between our China and US again? More of the things that they will look at before they nego again. I will be sharing more of the indicator is an economic indicator and is also an indicator that policymaker will read. All right, so this is the first thing. Second thing is quantum. I also talked to Kev that day about quantum computing, but I really totally newbie in quantum. Just like I'm totally newbie in semiconductor. That's why I read the book called Chip War. And then like Chip War is on semiconductor. Quantum computing is on superconductor. So there's these two different materials that people use in terms of computation. So we'll talk about it in a short while. Last is also Grab. I can't quite remember who talked about Grab or bring up about Grab when I talk about Shopee, because Shopee, their newly branded MONEE is growing like crazy. And talk about, Grab also have their Grab Finance. And yeah, so let's look into it. And is there opportunity when you look into Grab Finance? This is a thing lah. All right, so we'll talk about these few things. But for Grab portion will be exclusive to our WellPulse. So if you are tuning in on YouTube, which is fine, you can listen the first two portion. The third portion, you just subscribe for WellPulse, then you'll be able to watch it. Hey, maybe I just shared the YouTube live link to the group first. Just a moment. So let me just share, copy link. All right. If you are interested to join, but yeah, this is the YouTube link. Okay, yeah, just to step up everything in place lah. Okay, all right, let's go. These are all the topic that we have covered so far. Yep, actually, Nvidia just released their result last week, right? And then this week, there's another company called CrowdStrike. I think a big group of our community invested in CrowdStrike, they will be releasing tonight, all right? Maybe we'll talk a bit lah. Let's see the timing lah. All right, so we also talk about Meta is looking at whether Meta will get break up because of the antitrust law. And also Google. All right, so these are all the things that have been talked about since beginning of the year. And we also talk about the MONEE rating. So these are the portion where I talk about the macroeconomy, then we go into company specific. Last week, we talked about the big beautiful bill. Actually, I don't quite know what is the big beautiful bill until Jiaxuan talked about it. Yeah. So how many of you have followed so far and then there's something new that you have learned since the beginning of the year? If there is, just type in a yes. All right. Okay. All right, so even until now, there's thing I don't know what big beautiful bill, what is it? And then okay, and then there's this what first sale, something like a first sale means if you declare where you buy the source from, you can pay tax according to the source, not your second tier kind of pricing. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are interesting in the market. All right. Okay. Market is still greedy. And yeah, I don't know what's the feeling right now, but there's a lot of different news media that want to paint a bit of bleak picture right here. So what is the bleak picture? I'll be sharing in a short while. So last week, we have big like Nvidia, Salesforce sharing, even Futu. Yeah, great result. And up the Tiger Brokers, up fintech, also great result. Or because of you guys, because you have been topping up money, your portfolio has been growing, and then you guys did some transaction, right? Yeah. And then for people who are doing like tradings or even like leveraging, there's the more reasons why these two companies growing, especially at good times. All right. Okay, and yeah, so tonight we have CrowdStrike and then we have Broadcom, DocuSign, and Lululemon on Thursday itself. All right. Okay. I know, is there any people who watch football right here? Manchester United have quite a pathetic season this year. I have not watched for the longest time, only until the reason there's one, I don't know what cup, there's something like Euro Cup between like Tottenham Hotspur and Man U. Yeah, and then they are near the relegate, like the 15, 16 position, if I'm not wrong. If I'm not wrong, I don't know. Yep. The time when I watch football, Man U is the king. But right now, I don't know what happened to them. Maybe it's because they bought over by Americans. Yeah. And profit is more important than performance. All right. UiPath, big red candle. Ooh, okay. Guys, if you have any pointers to share, just share in the group. I didn't really watch UiPath. I usually like, if you guys want to know UiPath, I will ask, hey, Justin, talk about UiPath because you covered before. All right. Okay, so this is the earnings. All right, so what is the update for this week? All right, usually there's some updates throughout the weekend and then Monday and then Tuesday. So this period, right, sometimes there's some different news that come out because of, I don't know what is it about. It's like they want to move the market because the market like rests for Saturday and Sunday. And usually Sunday night and Monday morning, right, there will be some news just to move the market. I don't know. I that kind of feeling recently. I don't know you guys have that kind of feeling. So over the week in 31st May, Trump do his magic game. So Trump accused China of violating trades, and then they increased the tariff for steel and aluminium from 25% to 50%. And when these tariff go ups, all the commodities companies got affected. And one of the major or the sectors that got affected is automotive companies lah. They're already in a bad state right now with the tariff. They have even like bad issues. All right. And Trump says, I already thought that we have a deal or have a consensus in Geneva, but China's violated it. Right? When all these news come out, right? Everyone just type in, how do you feel of this kind of news? Whenever it's related to Trump. Huh? I always have to, huh? If you have that kind of huh feeling, just type in H-U-H lah. Huh? Huh? Again? What is it about? Huh? Okay. I thought you are in Geneva, your or trade teams have been talking about you have this 90-day pause just to talk about trades. Yeah. And Hoyin say noise, Diana say ha, Pia say sian. All right. Okay, but as much as investor as sian, I think Chinese also very sian. The China have to reject US claim. The China have to reject the groundless accusation. And then saying like US you are bullying, obviously. Have you ever read a book from Trump called The Art of Deal? Or you know about it? If you know about it, just type in the one. The Art of Deal means Trump are sharing his way of making deal. The Art of Deal. Right? If you type in one or anything. All right. Okay. As much as there's a lot of news, content, books out there, right? Although I read before, I can't quite remember what I read. That's the problem of reading but not practicing. Okay. But nevertheless, right now, there's some ways lah. Not just reading summary, but from a summary, we can get the content. All right. Okay. So later I'll share with you my way of reading right now. Okay. Yeah. Sad to say, after having kids, right? I don't know. It's like I giving myself an excuse like I giving myself excuse. Yeah. The amount of time of me reading getting lesser. And also amount of time me remember what I read is also lesser. Okay. But the beauty of this era or this Gen AI era is we can really read more efficiently in a way that not just reading pointer, but we can get out some of the contents from the pointer. Yeah. I also like in the coffee session that I have with Kev, I also ask, hey, you have a kid. How do your kid like use AI to learn? Do you allow your kids to use all the AI tool out there? How many have you allow your kid, or you don't allow a kid, or you have any thoughts? You have the same question. Just type in anything. Because I have the same questions in my mind. So if my kids grow up, how would I teach them using AI? Or how I teach them using the AI tool? And this is the same question being raised in the AI class that we run recently. There's a parents asking, my kids, should I teach them how to use AI tool? All right. So Kev say no. Okay. All right. Okay. One of the reason like share with me in the coffee chat yesterday is some of the fundamentals like practice or fundamental thought thinking or fundamentals focus has to be built up. So as simple as something like your multiple factor, your multiple table. So you have to practice it so that the foundation is there. Or else you just you just keying calculator. Yeah. So basic must learn, right? Yeah. Yeah. So other than learning the basic, but some of the things like reading, is there any better way of readings or content or learning some content? Later, I'll show you how I read the art of deal, just to refresh my mind. The art of deal using an AI tool. right? Okay, but nevertheless, these two fighting, right? I don't know why Singapore come to picture because there's this Shangri-La dialogue. I think it's the 25th year of Shangri-La dialogue whereby Singapore hosts all the different defense minister to talk about the regional safety, the regional power balance. All right, and Singapore say if you have to choose side, you choose the principal side, not any country. Right? I think it's quite a good answer to say it's not US, it's not China. Yeah, principle. But what is the principle? Yeah, the regional safety lah. Huh? Okay, so this is quite surprising when Singapore have this kind of news that come up. Yeah, but it still come to this in terms of economic factor lah. All right. So when you look at this fight right now, would you find out further who will get affected? What is the things that we should pick up? If you do that, just type in one. If you say, this is nothing of the business, just type in a two. Means it's just noise. Just type in a two. All right. So Kung will say, okay, Kung will type two. All right. Chabi also two. Wow, Kev also two. Okay. Walao then I shouldn't go study already. I didn't waste time talk to find out further about this. This is also the same thing I talked to Kev. Like Kev, macro news like sometimes we have some community member like to know about macro news, right? Because no doubt some macro news will affect the market a bit and then it might be pose some of the opportunities out there. So maybe if we can understand the market a bit, maybe we can take opportunity. Yeah, so these are some of the thoughts that I gather from the community. But also there's people like Kev say, hey, yeah, don't waste time. Yeah. When the opportunity comes, it's the undervalued time that is based on the company valuation. I don't quite follow the macro news. Okay, so there's this group of people. But nevertheless, let's talk into it again. All right. Remember the 90 days? From April 2nd, they have this Liberation Day, right? So they have these 90 days that set from Geneva. All right. So Trump and Xi likely to talk soon. All right. But no date has been set. Like this news, right? It's like 讲了没有讲, it's like say already, say nothing. All right. But there's this news that captured my attention. All right. So Pentagon chief said ready to fight and win against China, urged Asian allies to boost defense spending. I think this news is quite straightforward. If you think this news quite straightforward, just type in the one. Pentagon chief urged allies to boost spending. I don't even read defense. Ask them to boost spending. Where do you think the money will flow to? Where do you think the money will flow to? Like between China and US lah. A very straightforward question, right? Urge Asian to boost defense spending. Yeah. Palantir, yeah, they are one of the benefactor lah. Right? One of the benefactor. Yeah. This is the US. So why China US is not talking yet? I think it's because of this also. They haven't locked down the rest of the country in terms of defense spending. Yeah. Yeah, I think the game plan is very clear. And then, have you ever asked or have you ever looked into your own country defense spending? If you look into it, just type in a one. If you haven't, just type in a two. Means, hey, every year there's army, there's your air force, there's troops that you need to feed, right? And then all the troops, right, you need your weapons, you need your armor and everything, all right? Every single year, how much would the country spend in terms of their defense? Just type in yes or no lah. If not, I own self talking very boring now. All right. Oh, Diana's okay. You go find also. Okay, great. Because I'm a Malaysian, ex-Malaysian. I come to Singapore. I didn't serve any like even Malaysia army or Singapore army. So actually, I very far away from all this defense stuff one. Yeah. So I don't know one. I don't know. I need to feed army. How much should I feed? Every year? What's the budgets that allocate to growing our country defense and stuff like that? All right. Okay. Yeah. So only until I read this line, the US government plan to ramp up weapons sales to Taiwan to a level beyond 18 billion, surpassing 8.4 billion approved by President Biden. If you can see, this is a sheer double of defense spending. Everyone just type in dollar sign. Stands for money for US government. This is just Taiwan. This is just Taiwan. Yeah. You ever talk about different like European or even like the Israel, I don't know, or even our Singapore or our Southeast Asian countries. All right. And do you know how much in terms of like GDP or even though budget that Taiwan has spent just on so-called in terms of percentage. So this is 18 billion, right? In terms of percentage, how much Taiwan has spent in terms of their budget? All right. Wait, okay. So let's do this. I think I searched before lah. ChatGPT. All right, search before. Okay, Taiwan budget defense. Okay, never mind. Just ChatGPT. Right, I think I searched before. Yeah. Okay, just fine. Taiwan defense budget. All right, compare to total budget. All right, in Singapore and Malaysia too. All right. Okay. So while you search, give you a guess how much Singapore spend in terms of defense budget and how much Malaysia spend based on defense budgets. So Taiwan is 18 billion, 18 billion, and is protecting 20 million people. It's just a ratio, 18 billion protecting 20 million. Singapore is close to 5, 6 million. And then Malaysia, I think if not wrong, Malaysia also 20 million. All right. So we look at ratio lah. Malaysia no money. Yeah, Malaysia, you're like that. Okay. I thought I put into table. Put into table. Oh, it's here. All right. You recall, right? 18 million. And this is 19 million. In other words, the Taiwan defense budget, everything go to buying weapon. It's like, hey, if that's the case, right? Hey, then how they feed their army? Yeah. So this is my question, right? And then in total budget, right? Oh, it's 15%. Hey, why Singapore? So Singapore also spent 15 billion. Malaysia spent 4 billion. All right. Okay. Yeah. So Singapore spent so-called equivalent amount to Taiwan, although we only have 5 to 6 billion. All right. Okay. Yeah. So this is just out of curiosity, I go find out. All right. And then you know where the money go to. ST Electronic. Yeah. So you know where the defense budget go to lah. Yeah. So this is our curiosity. Okay. Yep. So how many of you find this is quite interesting one? 18 billion they need like Taiwan need to spend. Yeah. And this is the money to protect all your chip companies, TSMC, Nvidia. Yeah. Do you think this is important? If you think this is important, just type in the one. Very important. Very important. If you invest in TSMC, Nvidia, or what you call SMH, the chip industry, yeah, very important budget. Then you know that, hey, someone need to bear the bill. And I'm not so sure whether this bill will become a tax. It should not be a tax to TSMC. Someone got to bear it. Yeah. Okay. It should not be tax to TSMC lah. Yeah, this is what I think. All right. Next. Okay. So this is some of the things that I find out. Out of all those different fight, right? Oh, there's some information that is interesting. Okay. Next. All right. So other than like this, the tariff that brought up, right? Actually, this week itself, there's some important numbers that are being shared across the country. For example, Australia PMI, South Korea PMI. What is PMI? Product Manufacturing Indexes, right? So all these PMI is to show how much manufacturing expectation that all the different manager will put into growing their business. All right. So there's this mark which is 50. Anything which is 50, it means that the managers are just putting the exact same resources or exact same expectation for the plant manufacturing itself. All right. So if it's 51, means they are expecting their manufacturing is growing. And if manufacturing is growing, means the economy will grow. All right. So this is a leading indicator. If you follow, just type in a one. Leading indicator. Leading indicator. PMI is a product manufacturing index that economists will look at to see whether the economy is growing or shrinking. All right, whether the economy is growing or shrinking. Anything at 50 means stay the same. Anything more than 50 means they're expecting the economy to grow. Anything less than that is shrinking. All right. So you see some of the numbers right here. Australia manufacturing index is going down to 50, but is still growing. 51.7 to 51. All right. This is the effect of tariff. All right. Likewise, look at South Korea. South Korea is even worse. It's 47.7. Means South Korea are looking at shrinking economy. All right. Then this is the more important one. China Manufacturing Index, all right, China PMI, all right, and it shows that China manufacturing activities in May shrank at the fastest pace since September 2022, all right, and then this is the official PMI, is contracted for the second month, and there's another one which is China Caixin, which is also looking at private survey. All right, so later I'll show you the numbers lah. All right, so Caixin is showing 48.3. All right, and the official PMI is showing 49.5. So both numbers are showing shrinking. All right, so if showing shrinking means they are highly likely economy will go down moving forward. All right, okay, so when you read this number, how do you feel? Yeah, just address feeling first lah. Wow, PMI is shrinking. Wow, does it mean that recession might be coming? Does it mean that if China, the number is shrinking, then the negotiation with US can be easier in the sense, hey, tolong lah, we shrinking, you shrinking, why hurt each other? Let's cooperate. All right, so Kev say, chance is coming. This PMI is yearly. PMI, for China PMI, they do it like monthly. All right, so this is the PMI. All right, so I also collect a table to show the difference between the official PMI and Caixin PMI. Wait, you got PMI, right? Why you got two PMI? Why just not just use one PMI? Okay, so I have that question as well. All right. So what is China PMI is by the officials. Caixin PMI is by this media called Caixin. All right. And then for China official PMI is mainly on large owned or state-owned enterprise, means all those like big companies lah. And for Caixin is all those SMEs. All right. So SMEs is 一个国家的命脉. I don't know how to put it in English. Means SME actually feed majority of the people. This official PMI feed only the smaller group of people who are in the large company itself. So these are the major difference between this China official PMI and Caixin PMI. And then if you look at the statistics, so this only cover 3,000, this only cover 500, but it's mainly SME specific. All right, so let's look at a number lah. So for the most of the time in a year itself, or only 2 to 3 quarters, or 2 to 3 months is above 50. So China have been shrinking for quite some time according to their official PMI. All right, and then although there's uptick, is still shrinking PMI lah. And Caixin PMI since this is April, right? Since Liberation Day, the numbers for May have gone down. Very straightforward. The numbers gone down is because of tariff. All right. Okay. If you see that, just type in the one. All right. SME is taking hit lah in this tariff. All right. SME is taking the hit. All right. And most likely, this is the bargaining chip that US have, especially when they talk about what is the tariff? 250. I think it's 250. 250% tariff. Yeah. So this is affecting China, especially in SME lah. Yeah. But the bigger one is, I don't know, looks like not much different. There is this sian already. They also don't want to look at the US economy. So most likely, I don't know, this is just my assumption. The large and state-owned enterprise, their market are still largely in their own country. Yeah. And then they are less affected by the US tariff. This is what I assume lah. But for SME, definitely, because SME, they are doing export. SME, they are selling to US, to different countries, or as a medium to different countries. The tariff hit the SME a lot. Okay, yeah. So if you find this, it's quite interesting, you learn something, you just type in the word. PMI. I'm not so sure whether we talked about PMI before, but PMI is a very straightforward and a very easy to understand indicator, the leading indicators for economists. All right. Okay, thanks, Kev, Diana, Jocelyn. Right. The US also have their own PMI. Yeah. Okay. All right. And yeah, and this is very recent. I think it's yesterday night. And then, yeah. So the White House give out some news again. I don't know why. They are close to finish line. All right. The 90 days, right, will end in July. All right. So the 90 days end July, right? So from now to July, only left with 30 days, 1 month. All right. Just left with 1 month. All right. Within this 1 month, there's only one country that reached a deal, which is Britain. The rest is not there yet. All right. So I'm not so sure within these 30 days, what are the news will come up. So if it's good news, then it's good. Portfolio is growing. If there's news that move the market, it's also good news for us. All right. It's also good news for us. Means opportunity might arise again. But make sure you always have this top 5 in your list. All right. There's this thing that Kev shared with me yesterday, which is very, very interesting. Kev shared with me, hey, within his circle of friends, right? He shared with me like, can I share or not? Like the things that the bet that you have with your okay. Yeah, I think this is not the way that I will function, but I think this is very interesting whereby, yeah, Kev share with their circle of friends. I say this company called Palantir, all right. And then Palantir have been a companies that a lot of communities have been looking and watching. And this company, if you look at their valuation, right, is super, super rich, like price to sales is close to 100 times. If you look at valuation, right, it's super high. Although the company is still growing, but it doesn't make sense if you buy overpriced product, right? Or overpriced stuff, right? If you understand and follow, just type in the one. Like, if this or if a can of Coke, right? You can get it at $1, right? Why get it at $50? It's like your hotel is like $50. You just go down the street, go across. There's this 7-Eleven just sell $1. Why you pay $50? Of course, there's people have different thought, but for value investor or people who are value conscious, right? Might as well just go down the lift, go across the street, just pay $1 for Coke. But market doesn't portray that way. Market is like the market price. It's so-called the market price. It will not like in Nasdaq is this price, and then you can go to another market at different price. It doesn't work like that. But the market there's fluctuation. So at the PS 100, no point buying, right? But he also understand within his community, right? There are people like to, ayo, move up leh. Ayo, might be moving up leh. Why not I buy at this price? What is the price now? 130. And then sell at 160 lah. Yeah. Should be like that, right? But you know the price is 100. If you buy, what if it went down, right? Okay. So how his community been so-called working together is this. We will bet who buy Palantir first would lose the bet. Means like everyone don't kanchiong lah, don't go into the companies that's valuation risk. Valuation is very rich, all right? So this is the way he so-called work together as a community, which is I find very powerful in the sense that, we will keep each other in check. Do you think this is quite interesting? If you think it's quite interesting, type in what this is the things I learned from Kev. PS 100 perfect score. All right. So there are some ways to keep each other in check. So this is how Kev, their community keep each other in check, or his group of friends. Yeah. So thanks, Kev, for sharing that, which is, yeah. I don't know whether I want to implement within our community here, but time to time again, I always show you the valuation, right? I will show you if you don't want to calculate your valuations, you can look at valuation band. Means from the market, what is the valuations like across 3 years, the top like valuation line, the highest valuation to their lowest valuations line. And then you can at least reference to that a bit. If not, it's yeah. So it's not like gamble. All right. Okay. Yep. So look back to this, right? Within this last 30 days, I would foresee opportunity will arise. And I think in the third week of June, the Fed will announce their interest rate again. Yeah, I think from now to then, there will be a lot of news whereby people will, I will not say manipulate, I will say volatility would be there. Okay, if you follow this, just type in the what. So this is the macro news that I prepared lah. Yeah, from now to July 9. Yeah, from now to July 9. Reduce 25 big point. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Jerome Powell will say, I will keep to my stance, all right? Because for Fed, right, they will not look at the trade tariff per se, they will look at only these two very major data, unemployment and inflation. Unemployment and inflation. As long as they can control inflation, as long as the unemployment is okay, yeah, they will keep the rate. Yeah, all right. Or, yeah. Or if the inflation is still too high, they will need to increase lah. Yeah. So I also have no answer to that. But to summarize, make sure your top five and make sure your valuations is in check. All right. So the next topic would be talking about quantum. All right. Okay. So cover the macro news. Let's look into quantum. All right. So if you have followed some quantum news or quantum company or learn about quantum, just type in a one. If you know nothing about quantum, just type in a two. All right. For me, I'll type two because I really don't know what is quantum about until I go learn about it. Right. Thanks for your honesty. If you type in one, also please feel free to share with us. All right. I think Kev also looked a bit on quantum, lah, huh? But let's share, lah, huh? So I'll share what I learned, and you share what you learned. Or if community, if you really early in the industry, even better. So for me, I've heard about Jiaxun talk about quantum. I still don't know what is it about. And then I go watch the video, I still don't know what is it about. I say, why don't I find some expertise to ask, lah, huh? So before I go into that, so this is the things that I know about quantum. There's this big machine, and this big machine is something like a cooler. They need to cool the system so that it can go to 0K in temperature, right? In this part of world, we use Celsius, means 30 Celsius or stuff like that. And in order for this quantum to work, they need to go this Kelvin. K is another measurement of temperature. And 0K means negative a few hundred Celsius. Means need to be very cold so that the friction is very low for the atom to move. All right. If you follow, just type in a one. Means in order for the chip, in other words, the superconductor to be a superconductor, it need to be in a very low temperature. Okay. So if this need to be very powerful, yeah, it need to rely on this huge, gigantic machine. All right. And this huge, gigantic machine need to have a lot of energy to cool it down. All right. So this is the basic understanding. And next, where is the chip placed? The chip placed at the very bottom of this, what is it called? I call it tower lah. Very bottom of this tower. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is also what I learned. All right. Next, Microsoft, Google announced their Willow chip. Microsoft announced their Majorana chip. Right. So these two chip is to power up their quantum computing. All right. I will not play right here. So I think I played sometime in beginning of year. Right. This is another breakthrough of people who look into quantum chip. All right. And actually, this is the time whereby since like Microsoft is building their quantum chip, right? As a Microsoft investor, I think I should spend some time look into it lah. So that's the reason why I start looking into quantum. All right. Okay. So happen I have this junior that work in Center for Quantum Technology. It is in NUS, and he studied physics and he go into quantum technology. All right. Okay. So from here, just type in a yes or no. Do you think that I learn more about quantum from here? Yes or no? Just type in yes or no. Yeah. Happy face like happy face. Wow, PR, why like that? Cool, cool, why like that? Hey, I purposely go down to the center to talk to him to find out what's quantum about. Yes, already on the ground. You did not see the real machine. Okay, okay. Yeah. So the answer is yes and no. All right. So quantum technology is not just quantum computing is just one segment of quantum technologies. It's not everything about quantum technologies. All right. Quantum technologies have different other usage. All right. Other than computing, there's also a security usage, which is called quantum safe. All right. The friend of mine, he's expert in quantum safe. He understands a bit quantum computing, but his work is not in quantum computing. And in actual fact, actually in NUS, there's really quantum computer there. But you remember, for the quantum chip to work, right, it need to go in a very low temperature. And in order to let the quantum chip to be super effective, right, they have to be in a black room, means very little interference. All right. Okay. So if you follow that, just type in the one. Ah, the one also means like what Kun Kun said. I didn't see the quantum computer. Yep. All right. Okay. Till now. All right. Since I don't know quantum computer, do you guys want to understand what is quantum safe then? How does quantum safe protect our cybersecurity space? Or is there anything about quantum safe, right, would affect cybersecurity's company? If you want to understand, just type in a two. All right. Okay. So for me also, okay, since there's no quantum computing kind of thing, and then he do quantum safe, and then he say it's about cybersecurity. All right. I need to declare I'm not the expert. I just use whatever I understand in my own words to share with you. Everyone, if it's okay, just type in okay. Quantum safe, SAFE, safe. Yeah, yeah. It's something like a cybersecurity method. Yeah, safe, SAFE. Yeah, safe. Yeah. And what does quantum safe mean? Is here the word quantum safe. I know my pronunciation is not as good lah. That's why I put the word right here, quantum safe. All right. Got any use case? Hey, is there any use case? What are they doing about this? All right. All right. So right now, all our message or all information, there's this technology called public-private key, means encrypted and decrypted information. So something like your WhatsApp, right? So all your WhatsApp message, right, should be encrypted. Yeah, means when the information sent across, right, before it reach your friend or another phone, it will be an encrypted message until it reach your phone, and then it will decrypt. So your information would not be violated or your information would not be leaked. So it protect the safetiness of your message from A point to B point. No lah, Facebook know everything law. It's supposed to be encrypted. All right, it's supposed to be encrypted. Hey, Clement, don't like that. If you say like that, I cannot continue already. All right, but did not use quantum machine to do it. All right. Okay. It's supposed to be encrypted and decrypted. Yeah. So your message will keep private. Okay. So let's imagine there's this ball as your data, your information. You like to send from A to B. So your A will be there's a protection out layer that's with a public key. All right, there's a public key, right? When it's sent over, right? All right, your friend at B side, there's a private key, means key B, right? And this key A and key B need to match so that it will be decrypted and then people at B can read the message. All right. So this public and private key is a very long string of number, very long string of number. And this long string of I will assume alphanumeric lah, this string of information, this number, right? And it needs, and usually, even with supercomputer, you need a long time to break it or to hack it. All right? Means you need super powerful computer to decrypt it, means to hack into the information. All right? But that's where quantum computing come in. Quantum computing able to break into it with super calculating machine, able to decrypt and steal away the information. All right. Or even there's like people using supercomputer to hack it. All right. So in other words, down the road, when quantum computing become more mature, our information or even like cryptos that rely on string of numbers will potentially being hacked. If you follow me so far, just type in a one. If you follow me so far. All right, yeah. Potentially being hacked when quantum computing become mature. Or even people can use quantum computing to hack into any of our encrypted information or encrypted data. Okay. And this is also the reason why the crypto world, when they heard about quantum computing, they also worried maybe my information will not be as private anymore. My information, I will not be seen as anonymous anymore because the information will be hacked or decrypted by quantum computing. All right. So here comes quantum safe. All right. So remember there's this public-private key, right? So what quantum safe does is it add on another layer. It add on another layer of security. And this security called quantum safe. All right. And this quantum safe need to send the key through the network so that when quantum the A side send encrypted information to B, right, they need to receive this quantum information as well. And this quantum information is a single atom. I don't know where if I'm talking about the right thing, atom or proton. I think they call it 粒子 lah. I know 粒子 in English call what? I just call it atom first lah. A very small thing. And this atom, right, is so small that it transmit through this the wire. Need to yeah, the fiber. Yeah, optic fiber. Yes, optic fiber. All right. Right now, all our data is transmit to optic fiber. That's why quantum safe able to work in this environment, right? Yeah. So this quantum or this atom can send through the optic fiber, all right? And this single atom, right, when they send through, right, why is it so safe is because when the atom send through, right, any interference or any point of time when they got interfered, right, your message will not be able to unlock. Means this atom cannot be hacked, cannot be interject. Once interject, when the atom sent through, it cannot go through the B side. B will not be able to open the message, and nobody will be able to open the message. That's why there's this quantum thing lah. And then this quantum safe, right, need to be sent using laser. So that's why they need to have a laser transmitter and laser receiver. All right. So when this laser transmitter send the atom through the optic fiber, if any point of time there's a person that go into and read the atom, it will get dirty and you go to the receiver will know, hey, you got hacked. You cannot open your message. So this is, in short, quantum safe. Did I explain enough for you to understand what is quantum safe? If 50-50, just type in 50-50. If it's okay, just type in 1. If cannot make it, just type in 0. Too cheap. Yeah. Hey, when I listen to him, I also cannot. Okay, I doing my best. All right, 0. Wow. Means I very bad. Wow. Means I wasted you 15 minutes of time. All right. Okay. Yeah. So come back to this. So in other words, what this quantum safe does is they add another layer of security, and this layer of securities need this atom informations to be sending from A to B. All right. Any interference or any got hacked, if it reach B or if couldn't reach B, B would know, and B will not open a message in that sense. All right. Okay. Unlike the traditional like public and private key, right? So if I use computive power and I compute your private key, in any point of time, I see your public key, I can just go open already. Yeah. So I can use computation power to compute the private key and open your public key. But for quantum safe, there is, I will not say there isn't any possibility, There might be technology that make it possible, but there's very, very low possibility when this atom being interject, when it reach B, it will not be it will not be alert, or it will not be identified. It will be informed, or people will know it get interject. Yeah. So this quantum safe is supposed to be protect the information transmit. How does B detect the missing or broken message? Means the atom, the numbers the atom informations got changed. Yeah. Because any interference, the thing will change. Yeah. And optic fiber should be zero latent, and they able to not being interfere in the transmit. But of course, there's possibility whereby when they transmit, the atom will go missing. Yeah. That's why even right now, the testing is still just within Singapore, from A to B. Yeah. If I'm not wrong, A is Singapore and US, B is another university. I think it's SUSS, if I'm not wrong. So they are just testing this quantum safe between these 2 points, all right, for NUS project. Okay. All right. Yes. So one of the things that they in like education, right? People say, if I learn but didn't do anything, I retain 10% of my knowledge. If I learn and practice, I retain 20. If I learn and I teach, I retain more. So hopefully with this retention of information and learning, and I continue to learn about it, I can learn more about quantum. And thanks for you guys for listening me for the last 15. Yeah. So if you think, even if you don't fully understand, by exposing yourself in these quantum technologies, it help you to appreciate what is quantum safe and what does quantum safe means to cybersecurity company, which I'll be talking about right now. I thought you're talking about a machine. Yes, you're talking about a machine. All right. So this is the connectivity between two server side, which physical data server side. All right. And I'll ask him, hey, if the secure is just on the server side, do our device get protected? So this is my question. Rupert Chui, Quantum Leap. I don't know what is this about, but I did ask him, hey, so it only protect the server to server, like, it doesn't protect end device. Like. Yeah. Cybersecurity companies, like even CrowdStrike, one of the major things that they protect is endpoint device. Endpoint device. Yes, the server to server, it might be a server-side securities, but not cybersecurity's umbrella. So this is what I pick up from there. Means we still need cybersecurities like CrowdStrike or even Fortinet for all the chases and endpoint or software, right? In order to protect our whole data structure. If you follow this step in the one. So this is what I pick up. Yes, it is one of the quantum safe technologies that protect the transmit of information from data server to data server, but not to the endpoint. Yet. Yeah. Rupert, I don't know what's quantum leap. Is it something got to do with endpoint? Yeah. A movie. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I learned. I hope from this sharing you guys learn something. Okay. So let me see. Yeah, so these are the companies that are providing quantum safe network from Singtel to Nokia, IBM. All right. Yeah. So I thought Nokia is long gone already, but it suddenly pop up in this quantum safe thing. I don't know. I don't know. Would this change like Nokia game? Yeah. I think I need to learn more about that. But that's not the reason I should look at Nokia at this point. Long live the king. All right. So this is the quantum that I'll be sharing in the public space. All right. So I don't know whether anyone is in YouTube. All right. No one is in YouTube. Okay, can. So I'll end the session right here. Okay. So anything, if you like to watch the remaining, which is we'll talk about more privately, which is some of the things that we share within our community, which is something like our investment or some companies, because we need to safeguard people who really don't know about investing. So that's why we only safeguard people who come into this space. We have some alignment to share like what is the things that we talk about, especially more privately, things that share more insights in our well paths. All right. So for those in YouTube, thanks for tuning in, and then we will see you next week. for you guys.